It was dry all day, like literally from morning when I got up at 5 all day. And I come home, I eat, and it starts to rain. So done with this rain. I'm ready for some warm weather. But today we are gonna be replacing thermostat on a 2006 Chevy Impala with the 3.9 6-cylinder engine. And this is the reason why we'll be replacing the thermostat. This message, engine hot, AC off. I replaced the coolant temperature sensor and that didn't seem to fix the issue. So today I'm gonna be replacing the thermostat and hopefully that message will go away on its own. If not, then I'm gonna disconnect the battery and let it sit for a little bit to reset the computers. Then hook it back up and go from there. This job should be rather easy because there's plenty of room. So looking at the engine, we are going down here, if you can see where the flashlight is, on this big hose. This is the hose that leads to the thermostat right here, this big thick hose. And it's held in by 2 screws or bolts, one on the right side and then one on the left side, but there's plenty of room down there, so you should be able to reach it. But before we do that, we will have to drain the coolant. In order to drain the coolant, again, this is where we're at. There is like a thumb screw right there, if you guys could see it. The little guy right here on the side of the radiator. So you'll have to unscrew that and radiator coolant will start flowing out. I put an aluminum tray underneath to catch it. I had to break it loose with some pliers and it's starting to come out. So I'm gonna continue working on it so that we get a bigger flow and drain it quicker. So coming back up here, I'm gonna open this and this guy, just so that more airflow goes down there. We could drain it sooner or quicker. So again, just reaching down. This is the guy we're looking at right here. All you do is turn him. There we go. I'm gonna put this here for now. With the coolant drained, our first step will be loosening up that clamp right here. Let's do that. This one, and then pulling off that hose. I use this clamp tool to loosen the clamp on the hose. And hopefully I pulled it off far enough to where I could start playing with the hose a little bit and see if I could just pull it off. I call this my surgical tool. I have a few of these where they kind of bend in a little bit more, a little bit less. But what I did was gently put it behind the hose and then kind of work my way around it, just because these hoses tend to bake on to the thermostat, the metal housing of the thermostat. So after I kind of went around with this in a circle, the hose came off extremely easily. With the hose out of the way, you want to remove this wire, and it's held on to that longer bolt or thread. So we're going to start working on those. It looks like they're 10mm, but I'm going to find out shortly. Here is the new thermostat. I still haven't taken out the other one, but I was right. It is a 10mm socket. So a good piece of advice is to see if the new thermostat works, and how you check that is boil some water and drop it in there. This opening right here, if you guys could see it, where this metal piece is, and then this rim on the outside, this metal piece will drop down and you will see a small gap right here where this metal part is. So when you see the gap, that means the thermostat is working and it is opening and not sticking. So this thermostat works, and I'm gonna start working my way removing the old one. Here is the old thermostat. And I was gonna check it in hot water, see if it works or not, but I don't need to. If you guys could see that, there was a rubber gasket that went on top of this one right here, and it is completely destroyed pretty much all the way around. And there's little holes that it exposes. I don't know if you could see that. Yeah, you could see that right here. So I'm assuming coolant was just going through it non-stop, which caused the error message, which caused my issue. So we're gonna take this out. I'm gonna clean around this a little bit, and then in there, put the new thermostat in and start working back around. But to show you guys roughly, so this is how the thermostat goes into the engine, and this longer bolt goes on this side, and this other one goes on this side. The old one was a little difficult to take out because this rubber gasket was baked on. So again, if you guys could see these holes right there, that was my problem. I hope that was my problem. So the new one is in, and I'm gonna put it in the block. Thankfully there's plenty of room, even for my big hands, to get down in there. Put everything back together, put the hose back on, put the clamp back on. Don't forget to put the plastic screw in the radiator, and we're gonna start filling it up with coolant. It's down here. We're gonna start it up and let's see how it runs. Fantastic news, guys. That fixed my problem. So I put the coolant back in. I started the car. The message was still on, so it didn't go away. The car has been running for about 3-4 minutes, maybe a little bit more. The whole time it pretty much just stayed on cold all the way at the bottom, and then it literally like jumped up halfway. The fans turned off up front, and now it's been slowly climbing. So far it looks good. I guess the main concern now is that it stops and it doesn't overheat. If it doesn't, then fantastic, issue fixed, and I'm happy. If it does overheat, that's another problem, and we're gonna go from there. So 1 minute. There we go. It's sitting still. It reached the middle and it's not moving anywhere. There you go, guys. Paid 20 bucks for a new thermostat, and this fixed my issue that I was having. Hopefully this helped. Subscribe, stick around for more.